convince him, again, that if he really put his mind to it, he could do absolutely anything. Literally anything. Yeah, I reckon I could win Wimbledon next year. If I slept 2 hours a night and trained 22 hours a day, with Agassi as my coach, I'd be in with a good chance. If you dared to question Neil on this, he would give you a horrified look. After all, you had not only insulted his ability, but also the ability of one of his weirdo childhood heroes. With Agassi as my coach, 22 hours a day's training? Agassi? Easy. But the weirdest part is that I always got the sense that Neil was actually quite proud of his weird behaviour after a few double tequila Red Bulls. I would see him the morning after, the night before, in our halls of residence, and approach him as you might a dog that had always been friendly, but the last time you'd seen it, he tried to bite you. Just slightly wary. Morning, Neil, I'd say. Morning, Heugh, he'd reply. He'd then give me a cheeky little look, both of us knowing the monster that had taken hold of him many hours previously, and he'd say with genuine pride, God, I was being weird last night. I hope these traits give you some sense of the kind of man that Millie has committed her life to today. In spite of them all, Neil has, of course, been a very great friend to me over the 10 years or so that I've known him. His friendship means a huge amount to me. If I've ever risen above my station, he has always been the one to bring me back down to earth, savagely. He's the kind of guy who, if you're feeling a bit low, you're not operating 100%, it just makes you feel better about yourself. But the thing I really love about Neil is his incredibly wide-ranging emotions. From the touchingly sentimental, here is a man who cried twice during Barack Obama's victory speech, to the frankly rather base. So I just want to finish by saying a few brief words on Neil and Millie. I think all of Neil's friends wonder what kind of woman would be man enough to take on this force of nature. We all worried slightly when Neil started going on a daily basis to the male-only ponds at Hampstead Heath. Because there's no diving board at the mixed ponds. Whatever, Neil. And even more worried when Neil went to Wimbledon one year and came back with a camera full of nothing but close-ups of Nadal's biceps. They're so beautiful, Heugh. I don't have arms like that next summer. I'm going to do 100 pull-ups before work every day. Right, when are you going to start, Neil? Tomorrow? I was never quite sure how the happy couple got together, so I asked each of them individually for their version of events and for any nice stories that I might be able to use in this speech. Millie gave me a couple of really sweet little anecdotes about Neil and why she loves him so much. Neil sent me a selection of literally like the most awful stories I've ever heard about Neil. They were just completely inappropriate and unrepeatable. It was basically one long diatribe against his wife-to-be, peppered with comments like, I really don't think you should say this, Heugh. You better not mention that. The closing line to this email of fury, with absolutely no irony, was, let me know if you want any more. I just want to give you a brief exit. This is copy and paste from Neil's email. These are his exact words. I first met Millie the day before New Year's Eve 2002 in St Andrews. I spent the next few days, brackets, with Freddie Gray, trying to flirt with her. What was Freddie doing there? It's really weird. I was somewhat besotted from the outset. Despite seeing her several times over the following years, pathetically, it took me until we got back from a group holiday in Ibiza in 2005 to actually pluck up the courage to ask her on a date. So that's Neil plucking up the courage to ask Millie on a date. Just get that straight. So Millie and I went for a drink a couple of weeks later. I wanted to verify this, and I heard her version of events. It was altogether much more straightforward. She had fancied him for ages. There was a power cut in Ibiza, and she bundled him down a darkened alleyway and kissed him. The funny thing about that is I actually tried that on a girl once, and not only did we not get married, but I actually very nearly went to prison. It really wasn't very funny at the time. That's a joke. I've already spoken far too long, so let me finish just by saying that no gags, what an amazing husband and wife Neil and Millie make. It really is wonderful to see Neil so happy and so in love, and it's even more wonderful that he has somebody else to bully into buying him double tequila Red Bulls and chocolate. So if I may ask you to charge your glasses for a final toast to the happy couple, Neil and Millie.
Neil and Millie.